We're going to cover a little bit of the differences between graduate level learning and undergraduate learning. You'll never reach perfection at the graduate level. Even though you don't reach perfection at the undergrad, sometimes there's an assumption that if you follow all the rules and all the assignment that you'll be viewed as a perfect student. At the graduate level, we assume that you never reach total perfection. As you continue to improve, you will be coached to do even better. And this is true even if you go on to the doctoral level or postgraduate research level. Think of it as a coach who has a really good athlete that even though the athlete is excellent, maybe a star athlete, will still be continued to be pushed further to develop additional skill, do just a little bit better job. For those of you who golf, think of it as never quite achieving the perfect golf swing. Our goal is to continue to develop you as good students as well as preparing for the business world. You need to read beyond the curriculum. In addition to reading the textbook and assigned articles, you need to be reading in the online library and the journal article section additional materials related to what you're studying, what your interests are. The goal is that at the graduate level, you are reading at an interest point, you're reading to deepen your understanding, and that what you're reading as required in the course should help you to trigger some additional interest in some other areas. I would suggest to create a working document of sources. Now this is optional for you, the instructor's never going to see this, but maybe create like a Word document and start accumulating articles that you're finding in the MDNU online library. Those should be recorded in APA format. You may want to categorize the sources by topic, by content. While you never are to use or reuse prior writings from another course or another assignment, feel free to incorporate sources from prior assignments as long as you don't overuse the same sources. For instance, if you just found one or two sources and then you started using them in all of your assignments, that's not good, and I'll be picking up on that quite quickly. But the idea is that you want to start building this library, this personal resource pool of things you're reading, things you're learning, and seeing how they'll incorporate into your current assignment and your current course. Again, we use the MDNU online library because both the instructor and all the students have access to the same sources. Also, in the area of journal article, you can click something called peer review, which has the best quality sources. So again, you want to be developing good quality sources. You want to be using the MDNU online library. I never read papers in advance of submission for the grade. The reason for that is that it is sort of a form of pre-grading, and that's a disadvantage for some and advantage for others. I will answer specific questions in the Ask the Professor form. And the purpose of that is not only about the issue of the grading and fairness, but also to make certain that you're really digging into the assignment first and then organizing or crafting a question in the Ask the Professor form. And oftentimes, in the process of writing that question, students sometimes find the answer in addition to on their own, in addition to the information that I give. Learn the APA guide as provided by GPS. If provided, also use example papers or templates that help you with APA. Now the APA guide that's in the Moodle, online Moodle, is just a small version of the full APA guide. But it is comprehensive enough that it covers most of the issues. There'll be a few that I may have to point out from time to time outside the guide. But the idea is to know that guide. You're responsible to become an APA expert. Do not rely on the accuracy of any software that creates APA format. Most are imperfect. And you are to know APA well enough to see that and say, oh, okay, that's not good, or there's a problem here. Now, if you want to use APA creation software, that's fine, but you will be responsible to verify that against the APA guide. Review the rubrics. The rubrics provide a thread throughout the program in the development. Remember, I said you're not ever going to be perfect as students, but you are going to be developing your competencies and then being stretched. The rubric shows general expectation, and it's a general concept that the instructor uses in grading your papers and evaluating your work. Obviously, the assignments will have very specific instruction. Read this article, read this chapter, do this case study, maybe answer a specific question. But the rubric that's attached to that assignment, referred to in that assignment, illustrates expectation. You'll notice that many of the elements in a rubric will be similar from one assignment to the other and from one course to the other. They will be different in variation per the assignment, but you're going to see some criteria that we expect within the Jetter School of Business you to achieve as a graduate level student. As I said, you'll never reach perfection. As you obtain a certain level of competency, then you'll be coached towards a higher level of competency. Do not let this frustrate you. Now, I know a few of you who are a little bit more type A and so forth, you might find that just a little bit frustrating. But the goal is that by the time you're done with the program, you will see real growth as a student, as an individual, as a professional, and in terms of learning the concepts that you need to know in the business graduate program. Again, this is a wonderful opportunity to learn, to expand, to blend together real-world application with graduate level concepts. Let's enjoy the journey together, and I'll appreciate being your instructor, and we'll be able to work together throughout the program. Thank you.